inspiring entrepreneurs to rise, innovate, and create lasting impact. And today I have my special guest. She's the founder of the JIA Blueprint, challenging the incurable narrative of juvenile arthritis, none other than Miss Starr Penn.
Thank you, Daniel.
Welcome, Miss Starr on Entrepreneurship 101. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Okay, well, my name is Starr Penn. I am the leaky gut coach, and I've been helping people for well over a decade to reverse all their autoimmune issues. But I created the JIA Blueprint because this is really where I got my start. My daughter was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis a little over a decade ago, and I had to go on a mission to heal her. So here I am back helping moms just like me who have children very specifically with juvenile arthritis to reverse their autoimmune symptoms.
Yes, and thank you so much for being entrepreneur to the world. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom as well. And today, let's talk about being you as the founder of JI, JIA Blueprint.
Hmm.
So tell us, your journey began when your own daughter was diagnosed with a juvenile arthritis. Can you take us back to that moment, the diagnosis, what the doctors told you, and the moment you realized that conventional path of a symptom management was not going to be enough for your child?
Well, the path that I found myself on, I think most parents who end up in this position, finding out their child has juvenile arthritis, it's usually not a straight road to the diagnosis. So we get told a lot of things, and we are sent a lot of different places, and usually the doctors are scratching their head and they say they don't know what's wrong with our child, and that's what happened to me finally. So this was going on with my daughter. She had problems since she was born, not necessarily with joint pain, but with gastrointestinal pain, constipation, reflux, and things like that. Never would I have ever connected that to something like juvenile arthritis. But what we've learned now is that actually, very much so, these symptoms that young infants have are really just little fire alarms letting us know that something much bigger is brewing. For me, when the medical doctor did finally confirm with a blood test that my daughter had juvenile arthritis, they told me three things. One, that it was incurable. Two, that she would have to inject herself with medication for the rest of her life. And then thirdly, he told me that most kids with this disease don't live as long, and that when she deforms, they'll perform surgeries. That's all I remember from that visit. So I left that visit knowing that there had to be something that I have to have some control. And so that's how I began my search.
Wow, thank you for that search because, well, another breakthrough come out. You've described yourself as the leaky gut coach, the
Mhm.
founder of the GIA Blueprint. What was the turning point, the specific light or experiment? Where do you realize that the gut health, detoxification, and nutrition could actually reverse your daughter's condition, not just manage it?
Hmm. Well, this was over 12 years ago now. So, as you can imagine, the term leaky gut wasn't something that was as readily heard as it is now. So, nowadays, people have heard this quite often, whether they're skeptical about it or not, they've heard of it. When my daughter was diagnosed, I had no idea about a leaky gut. Most even natural doctors that I spoke to did not ever have this concept in mind when it came to autoimmune disease or that there could possibly be a connection. So I was going down the route that I think a lot of the clients who end up finding me, the same route that they choose, and they choose to do a more raw, whole food, anti inflammatory type of a diet to address the inflammation in the body. And usually, when I work with people who go down this route, they do get some results for some time because it is anti inflammatory. But fruits and vegetables cannot heal and seal the gut lining. And so that was the road I thought I was going to go down. But I had somebody come into my life and point out a protocol to me called the GAPS protocol, GAPS. It's an acronym for the gut and physiology syndrome. And this doctor who healed her son's autism, she was a brain surgeon at the time. Her son was diagnosed with autism, and she too felt that this couldn't be it. She knew so much about science and the human body, and what she understood and found out was that food particles are leaking out of our guts, which are permeable, and that's what's leading our immune system to respond. So what we've learned is that it's really not the immune system attacking healthy tissue like we're told from the medical community. It is a healthy immune system attacking toxins that have gotten into that tissue. And once we know that, we realize, oh, there is a root cause for this. It's not idiopathic. It's not something we don't understand. Well, there is something we can do about it. We can seal that gut lining and stop the food particles from getting out. So that's really just one component of the GAPS diet, and that's sealing the gut lining so we can stop the outpouring of all of these toxins into the bloodstream and lodging into our various tissues and organs.
Well said, Miss Star. Thank you for those info that you shared to us. For a mother listening who is currently where you were, sitting in a specialist office, being told this is a lifelong condition that will require ongoing medication, what do you want her to know about what's possible? How do you deliver the message without creating false hope?
Well, what I want people to know is that these medications can absolutely be life saving. That in the JIA Blueprint, we are not against our clients using the typical biologics that are prescribed for autoimmune disease. We work very well in harmony with the rheumatologist or different practitioners and let them call the shots as far as when the child needs these interventions. And then we also let them call the shots as far as when the child is ready to come off of those medications because of all the good hard work that we're doing. But what I do want them to know is that it's not helpless. It's not hopeless. That you can use these medications to get your child out of instant chronic pain, but at the same time, you can get on a pathway to where you're healing the body, completely rebuilding the body from the bottom up. It's so much more than just sealing the gut. However, there's guidance out there, there's support, and the body is always renewing itself. It's always making new tissue, it's always regenerating. And so, what we do in the blueprint is we provide the better building material for the body while we let the medication do what it needs to do if you need to be on medication. Not all of our clients, most aren't on any medication, but I just want moms not to feel terrified or out of control. I don't want them to feel that they have to choose one or the other, but that this is something that we can work together for however long it takes and get their child out of this autoimmune state completely.
Definitely. Completely. So, thank you for that advice. You've been public about the idea of treating symptoms is keeping your family sick. This is a direct challenge to conventional medical approaches. How do you help parents navigate the tension between following their doctor advice and exploring the root cause protocol? Do these approaches have be mutually exclusive?
No, they don't have to be exclusive at all. We can partner them and we can use them together. The way that I look at the medications, which can be life preserving, quite literally, for our children, because a lot of our children can't even move without these medications. So I like to look at these medications as just that, a life preserver. If somebody is drowning, we're going to throw them a life preserver, but we're not going to drag them all the way to shore with the life preserver. We're going to take them, we're going to get them onto the boat, we're going to get them dried off, we're going to get them warm, we're going to get them comfortable. So the life preserver, sometimes the medication sometimes is necessary. But what we want to do in the blueprint is we don't want to rely on those meds. We don't want to have a false sense of hope and think that, oh, this medication made this swelling go down, let me go about my life like we're not sick. We know what's really going on in the body. We know that it's not just about suppressing that inflamed joint or tissue. We know that the gut is leaking toxins all throughout the body. And so what happens if we don't address the root issue like we do in the JIA Blueprint, autoimmune diseases stack one on top of another. And not only does the medication lead cancer causing, but so does having an autoimmune disease, and multiple autoimmune diseases in itself puts you at a higher risk of cancer. So the last thing we want to do is just be happy with a suppressed symptom. We want to get to the root as to why the body is behaving this way in the first place and fix those reasons why. And then once we do, you can safely come off your medications, but that's something that is completely up to the relationship with you and your medical doctor. But I've never seen a client of mine not have that experience where the doctor rather quickly, because of all the nutritional interventions that we're doing in the blueprint, rather quickly wean them off the medication. They no longer need the medication, and we continue healing naturally the rest of the way.
One of your messages is that there's a hidden gut health connection that is causing the epidemic of autoimmune disease in children. For a parent now to new to this concept, can you explain the simple terms of child's gut health becomes driver of joint inflammation and autoimmune dysfunction?
I'm glad you asked this, Daniel. This is a concept that it's very big to wrap your mind for a lot of people to wrap their mind around. Because by the time our child, let's say we're talking specifically about juvenile arthritis, develops juvenile arthritis, we may have never had them experience any kind of gut symptoms. They maybe never had stomach aches, never have a problem with bowel movements. So people struggle with saying, but their stomach is fine. Their stomach never bothers them. I don't think they have a leaky gut. And so I don't think that that's the root cause. But what
Mhm.
we understand is that even people, I think it might be about 60 to 70% of people that are diagnosed with celiac disease, which we know is a gut related autoimmune condition, have zero gastrointestinal symptoms. So, one of the myths that we need to debunk is that for something to be a gut issue, that we have to have gut pain. Not necessarily the case. And so, when we understand that all of our illnesses are modern day illnesses or civilization illnesses that we have today are stemming from the environmental toxins that we're around, the overuse of probably just over the counter medication, the pesticides that are sprayed on our foods. It's a combination of things, the plastics that we're exposed to and drinking out of. All of these over time break down the integrity of our gut lining, creating microscopic permeability, which just means that even microscopic, but even liquid formed matter that doesn't belong outside of the intestinal lining can seep out into the bloodstream. So here's the part that is very difficult for people to reconcile in their mind. Wherever those toxins go in the body, if they go behind your eye, if they go into your brain, those same exact toxins, if they lodge in your thyroid, if they lodge in your pancreas, if they go inside a joint or tissue, and the immune system finds it, we're going to get inflammation in that area. The immune system is going to do its job. It's going to say, I found something that doesn't belong here, just like it does when you have a cold or a flu. And it's going to create heat and inflammation to try to drive that toxin out of the body. So when the immune system finds it in the joint and tissue, we get the medical diagnosis of juvenile arthritis. But juvenile arthritis, type 1 diabetes, even autism, different neurological conditions, hormonal problems, thyroid, Hashimoto's, all of these things are really the exact same problem with the exact same root cause. It's just a matter of where in the body the immune system found it.
You also pointed that environmental toxins is a major contributor for the rise in childhood autoimmune conditions. What are the most common sources parents should be aware of? And how do you help families to detox without becoming overwhelmed or
Mhm.
obsessive?
Okay, those are two really good questions. So the first one is I think people will be glad to hear that it's nothing you're doing. There's really, yes, when you're in the blueprint, we're going to look around and we're going to make some swaps in the house. But this is not to say, well, it was what you were putting in your laundry detergent, or it was the candle you were using, or it was the antibiotics that you gave them when they were 6 months old. Really, when they have tested the umbilical cord blood that goes, from the mother to the baby in the womb, that umbilical cord is filled with all these same environmental toxins. So because just simply because of living on the planet in the day and age that we do, our children are born already having these plastics and these chemicals already in their bloodstream. So we're already fighting an uphill battle when we're born. And then, so that explains why it's such an epidemic right now. So what we're experiencing now is we're experiencing children out of the womb, or very small infants, very small before puberty, developing the same kind of conditions that their grandparents are developing. And then we as the parents, we're also getting sick, right? We're developing autoimmune issues and cancers. And it's happening to all of us. It's bottlenecking. It's happening to all of us at the same time. So it's really epidemic. Yes, there are some things that we can do to lessen it, but it's nothing that you did that caused it. This is just the world that we live in, and we need to be. So, good question, Daniel. Now that we know that, we do need to make detox a part of our daily routine, a part of our life. And that's something that's been very foreign in the modern world, to detoxify your body. So, of course, we deal with children. So, we're always gentle yet effective. So there's so many different detox methods, and we really do utilize them all. Anything from sweating to baths to movement, rebounding, herbal teas. There really is no limit. There's different detoxes for different things. We might be trying to detox heavy metals depending on what test results bring up. So there's zeolite, and there's different binders that can be used. Of course, any kind of detox protocol that you're going to do, I would recommend that you work alongside somebody that can guide you, especially because we're working with children. We don't want to overdo it, we don't want to underdo it. But I would say that given the environment that we live in, it would be a really good idea to start looking at ways to help the body to purge. Number one, yes, help the body to purge all these toxins. Because remember, if you can visualize what's happening in the body, toxins are pouring out of the gut. And so it's backing up the liver and the lymph and the gallbladder, and everything is getting backed up. So it does need us to manually step in. So we do need to focus on the detox, and then, of course, definitely focus on the gut healing things that you can do as well.
Beautifully articulated, Ms. Starr. So, to wrap up our discussion for today, you collaborated with functional medicine doctors like Dr. David Billstrom, who
Mhm.
endorses your program and recommends that families work with both a coach like you and physician. How do you help families and practitioners who are open to this integrated approach? What should parents look for in a doctor?
Well, what I love about Dr. Billstrom is that we have the same philosophy. We understand that autoimmunity is all one thing. So we're able to help whole families. Autoimmunity does not just happen in the bubble. If am I done?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. If your one child has an autoimmune issue, you really should look at treating the whole family. And so working together with a functional doctor and a nutritionist, someone who can help guide you and help you to get from the beginning through all the hurdles and to the end. That's really what you need rather than an appointment to an appointment type of a setting. We're here walking the entire walk with you until you get to your final destination.
Well said, Mrs. Starr. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your blueprint itself?
Please, yes, if you would like to talk with me about enrolling in the Juvenile Arthritis Blueprint, the JIA Blueprint, you can send me an email at jiablueprint@gmail.com. You can reach out to me on my YouTube channel. You can also join my public Facebook group, the Juvenile Arthritis and Uveitis Blueprint, and find me there. Reach out to me, send me a message, and we'll get on a call.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Starr Penn because if you support her for sure more and more, JIA Blueprint will rise. So I have one more question, Miss Starr. Finally, when you look at the little girl who was diagnosed, your daughter, and a woman you become because of her, what would you say to the version of yourself sitting in the specialist office years ago? What does Starr Penn in 2026 want Starr Penn at the beginning of this journey to know what was possible?
Well, I want her to know that you're going to be the one that saves your daughter. And you're also going to be the one to help so many other moms to come out of this, save their children, and to not feel that same fear that I had to feel when I got that diagnosis.
Definitely. So, Miss Starr, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Monica, people, see you soon.